Okay, we're working with collage. This is a collage that I have just started. None of these pieces at this point are actually glued down. They're just sitting here loose in the collage. So I can go in and kind of rearrange things and see if I like something there or if I like something somewhere else in the collage. So they're all loose at this point, and it gives you this opportunity to play with things until you get everything right where you want it in the piece, and then commit to the glue stick, gluing it down. So at this point they're all loose, but in order to get to this point, I want to show you the rest of the room here, or a portion of the room where I have gone through magazines and just in my case I was looking for a lot of color. I was looking for blues, and I was looking for yellows, and whatever I could find in the magazine that I thought might work together really as color swatches in the piece. And some pieces I tear, so they're torn pieces, and some pieces I cut. I just use a pair of scissors to cut them, but actually what we're looking at on the floor now is all of the stuff that I did not use, that I thought I would use. And I tore all this out, and then after trying it in the piece, I abandoned most all of that. So that's the abandoned, torn pieces that I tried out and just did not work out for me. So let's get this back up here where we can see the image again. All right, over here I just have some newspaper that I'm going to use to glue some things down with. I'm pretty well happy with this arrangement, and so at this point, with everything loose and I kind of have it where I want it, I'll start picking up and going underneath. I do a lot of layering, and this is not the only approach to collage, but this is my approach to collage. My approach to collage is more, I guess, European in some ways, in that I like to maintain the integrity of at least one or two large images in the piece, rather than work too fragmentary with tiny little swatches, building it like you were going to build maybe a mosaic. My approach is not mosaic like it's it's large pieces and small pieces, and pieces that maintain their holistic integrity, and pieces that don't. Maybe were just chosen for their color. So so back and forth with me on that. But as I said, it's not the only approach. You could build the whole thing out of little tiny pieces and make a mosaic if you would like. I feel okay with this, and so I'm going to lift a few pieces, and I've got to get down to some of the lower level of this in order to my arrangement won't be exactly all of this when I put it back together, but it'll be close. I'll remember it well enough to be close here. So going over to the newsprint and using the glue stick that you have, we will apply the glue to the back of the piece, it is important to apply it to the pieces that you're going to put down and not to the paper itself, as this stuff has tendency to remain very tacky for a very long time. So if it's just exposed sitting out there, it'll collect every bit of dust and hair in the room for a long time. So apply to the back of the pieces that you're going to glue down. Good idea to get to the edges really well so that the edges aren't lifting up, and that's why I have this paper down here so I can get right up to the edge. And we'll put that back in place. I'm going to drop it more than I had it originally. Push that down. Easy for me to remember where I am in terms of the next pieces going now. You have a few minutes that you can lift things up and move them around, but after a few minutes you won't have that opportunity as the glue starts to set. I printed this twice. I printed it in green and I printed it in natural tones. I can't say exactly why, but I just, I was kind of thinking about Matisse, I guess. It's a good idea to go to some area where you don't already have glue, so you're not getting glue on the surface of your collage pieces. And with this newspaper, I can just keep turning it over until each time. So it's going to be half natural, half green, which I like. I'll trim out little problems like that later, You got just a minute that you can make a few adjustments in it, but not a long time. Another little nod to Matisse. If you see over here, I'm going to flip over the paper now because that's got a lot of glue on it. You got all these tiny little pieces here. And you might be familiar with Matisse's green stripe across the nose of this model. I'm going to put a blue stripe. Yeah, I like that. All right, I'm going to continue, with what I can remember in terms of, working from the lower layers to upper layers, moving things down. I have a bird, a cardinal, that I'm using kind of as a cardinal and as kind of clothing at the same time. So if I get outside of this format a little bit later, I'll go trim it out. Most of my time won't be invested in gluing this thing together. Most of my time was invested in flipping through magazines, tearing things, looking at color shapes, things that I thought I could use in here. That was a large portion of the time I spent. I looked for a long time for, colored things that would match the green print that I made. So There's some other options for that I'll discuss with you in a few minutes, but I have these, so I'm going to use them. A few little strips of yellow-green. Actually, some of this stuff came out of an old watercolor. So. Starting to kind of take shape. I want to sort of counterbalance all of that green-blue with some kind of yellow-orange complementary color, because I thought it would really give it a little pop. So it's being laid in here. All of that was sort of deep in the background. So these up here. I've been drawing a little in this, which I'll talk with you about in a few minutes, but you don't have to draw at all if you don't want to. I like drawing into the collages. I may not be precisely where I was initially with this collage, but I'll be pretty close. Love these glue sticks. I mean, if you have something like this to do, these things are absolutely great. And this is beginning to take shape. I'm beginning to wonder whether I will use that in here. I think I'm going to not commit to that right now. Get back down into this area. This kind of depends on who you talk to about it, but I don't mind allowing a little bit of white paper to show through, white ground that I'm working on. Some people don't like that at all, but if you decide to allow a little white paper to show through this thing, it probably should be kept to a minimum. Not a whole lot of it. I've already changed my mind about the development of the collage here. I'm moving a little bit away from what I had laid out, but that's all right. I mean, this is very modular way of working. Anything can be laid over anything. So, that's good. I want to pick up some more greens in here, kind of randomly, just so I pick up something from the left-hand side of the collage and get it into the right-hand side of the collage. So, I'll do that. I'll separate A good idea for me to pick this up one more time. Notice that I'm beginning to layer now one piece of collage over another piece of collage. That'll make this thing a lot richer than if you don't layer, especially if you're working, more European, the way I'm working, which is allowing for large shapes and small shapes and various size shapes. Some of that layering that you do in here could be very important. Okay, do I think I'll use this in here or not? I could get more blues out of it. I want to kill all that, so I think I'll tear some of this again. That looks like. Smaller. Kind of like that. Some of this is magazine, some of it's printer paper. You could use colored papers, just about anything really. Anything you can glue down. Anyway. And this is with reference to some variety here. I have a lot of little pieces of paper that I've torn and or cut. And mainly it is just for variety of shape. So I'm again to use some of these smaller pieces in here. Maybe I should take a few up in here. Yeah. Don't need that at all. Probably don't need this at all, but may need to control that. Yeah. That's a little bit too much white left, unarticulated white left in this thing. So I've got all that and got this, so maybe I should get something in there just to knock that down some. Give some balance here. Some of these little small pieces again. A larger piece that I was initially going to throw in there, I think I still will do that. And so we got push-pull with it. Let's break that edge. These smaller pieces sort of climbing or falling, whatever you want to think of it. They have a lot of impact and glue against that yellow. wonder if I can get away with just a little blue dot right there. Yeah. Let's see, let's do another one right in there. Okay, how are we looking here? Nope, probably don't need that. I don't think I need that. Okay, words. You can use words in this if you wanted to. Like, I'm not going to. I just generally don't. But you know, you could use. You could put a variety of words in here if you wanted to use some text in it. There's no reason not to use text if you want to. So. It's just nothing but a value judgment on my part. I just don't do it because it just doesn't appeal to me, so I don't do it. Let's leave the collage elements at this for the moment and talk about something else. These are oil pastels. All right, Pentel, I think there's several different brands that you have in the studio there. And the pastels that we have in our set, they are dry pastels. A dry pastel will not mark on slick paper. It's not going to make a mark on paper that you pull from magazines. So it's not the soft pastel set that we have is not of much use when you have this much slick paper out of a magazine. But the oil pastels will mark on anything. All right. So, you know, if you have an oil pastel, you can go into something that is out of the magazine or etc. And you can make make marks on just about any surface with that. So you can mark on about anything with it. Back to red. Kind of pick up that bird again. Too much pressure on these things, breaking them. Got some green so that I could maybe come close to that out there. Pick that up a few other places in the collage just for consistency and composition. Could be a little more yellow. Putting yellow over the top of the green. And gives me some opportunity to repeat some of the stuff that's going on over here. And I went in and placed in some purples in here earlier. Run them more towards blue-purple. Yeah, kind of pick up this stripe that I have in there. Alright, it's a really kind of open-ended assignment. It's possible that, since I have some blacks in there, maybe I should repeat that somewhere in this thing. I don't know. I'll just do some drawing in it, I suppose. Which give me a chance to repeat a few of these really darks that are in the background there. But I really feel like, this thing is, I spent a lot of time thinking about it, laying things around, and before I went on to video with you, so I had played around with it a lot prior to that. And kind of knew where I wanted to go with it. So by the time I started this video, there wasn't a whole lot more that I thought, that I would be doing in this. So okay, when you complete this somewhere in here, you will find a way of signing it, with your name. And just experiment a lot, and enjoy the experimentation, and have a lot at your disposal, as you saw with all the scraps and stuff that I had out here. The more you have at your disposal, the richer you can make the image. There's lots of magazines in the art department, oil pastels, which are going to be the thing that's going to be your best bet in terms of doing any drawing into it. You do not have to draw into it. This could all have been collage. As I said, I like drawing back into the collage. There is one downside from that, and that is that this now is no longer would no longer be considered just collage. It would be considered mixed media. So it's a mixture of media in here. I did some drawing, I did some work in pastels, I did some pasting down. So at this point it becomes a mixed media piece. All right, enjoy that.